A kind vendor at the market felt sorry for a stray dog who visited every afternoon. One day, she gave him a full meal, rice, meat, even a little soup in a container. The dog looked at the food, then picked up the container and ran. The vendor laughed. Ungrateful dog, she thought, but curiosity made her follow him. He ran into a narrow alley where two smaller stray dogs waited. He dropped the food. They all shared. Then he picked up what was left and carried it farther down to a thin old man sitting on a wooden crate. The man smiled when he saw him. The vendor stood frozen at the corner. The dog didn't choose who deserved to eat. He didn't judge. He didn't measure. He simply shared what he had. That day, the vendor started cooking extra food, not just for the dog, but for anyone hungry. Because one unselfish heart can multiply kindness.
People walked past the old man all afternoon. Some stared. Most avoided him. Then a stray dog appeared, carrying a piece of bread. He dropped it gently on the man's lap and sat there, wagging his tail. The man's hands were shaking as he ate. The dog didn't leave. He waited, like it was his job to make sure the man was okay. No one filmed it. No one clapped, but that day, the only one who showed humanity walked on four legs.
A child dropped his bread in the dirt. He looked around, hungry and sad. A stray dog ran off, then came back with another piece of food he found nearby. He gave up his own meal for someone smaller than him. The old woman dropped her coins on the street. Cars honked. People stepped around her. A stray dog ran over, barking softly, drawing attention until someone finally helped her. He didn't understand money, but he understood someone needed help.
He's not looking for a home, he's delivering food. People thought the dog was following them, begging to be adopted. But every time someone tried to take him home, he ran back to the streets. Why? Because under the bridge, an old man waited for him every night. The dog always arrived with food. He wasn't searching for a family. He already had one.
A man sat crying quietly on the sidewalk. People avoided eye contact. A dog approached slowly and placed his head on the man's lap. The man stopped crying, because sometimes understanding doesn't need words.
When the homeless man got sick, people stopped going near him. Too risky, too uncomfortable. But one stray dog stayed beside him, through the heat, through the cold night. He curled up close to keep him warm and barked whenever strangers came too near. A woman noticed the dog's behavior and followed him. That's how help finally arrived. Sometimes rescue doesn't start with people. Sometimes it starts with a loyal dog. The homeless man used to sit near the bus stop every day, quiet, thin, weak. People passed him daily. Some gave coins, most gave nothing. But there was one who always stayed, a stray dog with tired eyes and dusty fur. At first, the dog only came for scraps, but soon he stayed longer. He slept beside the man at night, followed him during the day, like they belonged to each other. Then one week, the man got sick. He stopped standing, stopped asking for help. He just lay there shaking under a thin blanket. People noticed, but they kept their distance. Sickness scared them. The dog didn't leave. He curled up against the man's body to keep him warm. He barked at anyone who came too close with bad intentions. He even ran into the street, stopping traffic, until a woman finally followed him back to the sidewalk. She saw the man, called for help. An ambulance came. As they lifted the man onto a stretcher, the dog tried to jump in too. The paramedics gently stopped him. The dog ran behind the ambulance until it disappeared. For days, he waited at the same spot. Because leaving someone behind was something he never learned to do. And maybe that's what loyalty truly means.
The beggar sat alone in the cold night, no blanket, no food. A dog walked out and lay beside him, sharing his body warmth. He couldn't give money, he couldn't speak, but he gave comfort, something many humans forgot to give.
Every day, the dog waited outside a small store. Not for himself. When he received scraps, he carried them down the road to a blind man who couldn't beg. Day after day. No missed visits. That's loyalty. That's heart.
People walked past the hungry man all day. Some stared, most ignored him. But a stray dog came back, not once, but twice, carrying food in his mouth. He placed it gently in front of the man and sat beside him like an old friend. No camera, no applause, just a dog, choosing kindness.
Night fell cold and heavy over the city. On a dark sidewalk, a man sat shaking, hungry, scared, alone. People crossed the street to avoid him. He lowered his head, trying to disappear. Then he felt something warm pressed gently against his side. A stray dog curled up beside him, no fear, no hesitation. The man slowly placed his hand on the dog's back. For the first time that day, he didn't feel invisible. They stayed like that for hours. Cars passed, wind blew. The world moved on. But the dog stayed. In the morning, a bakery owner nearby saw them and brought bread. Then coffee. Then a blanket. Kindness spreads quietly. The world gave that man almost nothing. But a dog gave him warmth, safety, and presence. Everything he could offer. And sometimes, that is more human than humanity itself.
Every morning, before the sun fully rose, a stray dog sat quietly outside a small neighborhood store. He didn't bark. He didn't scratch the door. He just waited. Customers came and went. Some stepped around him. Some didn't notice him at all. They thought he was waiting for food for himself. But he wasn't. When the store owner came out to sweep, she would smile and toss him a few pieces of leftover bread. The dog would gently pick them up, careful not to drop a single crumb. And then, he would walk away. Not to a quiet corner. Not to a place to eat. He walked 3 streets down, past noisy tricycles, past people rushing to work, until he reached an old man sitting against a wall. The man was blind. He couldn't beg properly. He couldn't chase after people. Most days, he was simply ignored. But the dog never ignored him. He would place the bread softly on the man's lap and wag his tail, waiting. The old man would smile and say, "Ah, you came back." Only after the man finished eating would the dog lick the crumbs from the ground. Day after day. Rain or heat. No missed visits. The store owner eventually followed the dog one morning and saw where the food was going. She didn't say anything. She just started giving a little more bread. Because one dog reminded her that kindness isn't about having time. It's about making time. And sometimes, the one who waits the longest has the biggest heart.
The dog hadn't eaten for 2 days. His steps were slow, weak. Someone finally handed him a small piece of chicken. He could barely stand, but he still walked. Across the street, under a broken sign, an old beggar lay shaking from hunger. The dog placed the food beside him. Then he tried to walk away, but his legs gave up. He collapsed. The old man saw everything. For the first time in days, he didn't eat first. He shared the food with the dog. Kindness came back.
The homeless man saved this dog. Now the dog saves him. Months ago, the man shared his last bread with a weak, starving puppy. He thought nothing of it. Now the dog is grown. Every day, he brings food back to that same man. One act of kindness came back with 4 legs and never stopped returning.
A young boy noticed the dog every day, carrying food in his mouth. Curious, he followed him. He expected to see a secret place where the dog ate alone. Instead, the dog stopped beside a homeless woman and dropped the food. The boy froze. The next day, the boy brought bread. Not for the dog, but for the woman. One small dog taught a child how to be human.
This dog refuses to eat until someone else does. Vendors often tossed him leftovers, but he never ate right away. He carried the food across the street to a blind beggar who couldn't find meals on his own. Only after the man finished did the dog eat the crumbs. Hunger never controlled him. Kindness did.
This stray dog feeds someone poorer than him. He sleeps on the sidewalk. He drinks from puddles. But when he finds food, he doesn't keep it. He brings it to a woman who wraps herself in cardboard at night. One evening, the woman split the food in half and pushed some back to the dog. They ate together, 2 souls with nothing, still finding a way to share.
Behind a row of restaurants, a stray dog searched through trash bags. His ribs showed, his steps were slow. Finally, he found something, a half-eaten sandwich. He grabbed it quickly. This could be his only meal that day. But as he turned the corner, he saw a woman sitting on the sidewalk with two small children. The children were crying. The woman looked exhausted. She had no food left to give them. The dog stopped walking. He looked at the sandwich, then at the children. Slowly, he walked toward them and dropped the sandwich in front of the youngest child. The woman stared in shock. The dog stepped back. The children ate. The dog walked away quietly, stomach still empty. A restaurant worker had seen everything. That night, he left a bowl of food outside, just for the dog. Because sometimes generosity inspires generosity. And a dog with nothing can still teach humans how to give.